Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amuse Jester. My name is Junior. Today I just wanted to show you a lot of 49 figures which I bought for $300. Yes, I just spent $300 in one fell swoop in one fell store. Um, but basically for $300 at 49 figures, that basically ends up around being $6.25. Now, these are from the Power of the Force line. Now, why did I buy Power of the Force line when this basically breaks two of my main criterias that I set for myself uh, regarding figures? Those two criterias would be face printing and full articulation. Full articulation includes ankle swivels. Now, here's the thing. Once I started getting uh, into the figures, the limit was 2018. 2018 was when they started face printing on the figures, Hasbro. And I've unfortunately learned that even though they updated the face printing and the paint application on these figures, they're basically reuse of earlier figures, 2010, the Saga collection, and something else. And they don't have the full articulation that I wanted. So I was really kind of bummed by that. I felt like I was misled in that way. So I'm now, as I'm looking into the vintage collection, even the present one, even the ones from 2018, I have to be very careful that I don't buy the main characters like Han Solo, Luke, Leia, using the old articulation. I don't want that. I want full articulation on those main characters. However, if that was the case, I could somehow downgrade my categories for buying figures as long as they look good. And this is what happened with these. For the price of $6 a figure, I feel like these figures are good background characters representation. For example, let's take R2D2 over here. How much articulation do you need for R2D2? And how much articulation have they improved on R2D2 since Power of the Force into the present line? I don't see a whole lot of difference. In fact, I believe now, as a comparison, here's an R2 unit that I got somewhere. I can't remember, but I do believe he was part of the vintage collection. Look, I don't see a whole lot of difference in terms of articulation. It's still 1 and 2, right? That's it. Now, the weird thing is, for these Power the Force line collection, some of them actually have some freaking cool gimmicks. I believe this guy, when you twist the head, those pop out. And I can't remember. Oh yeah, the feet. When you do that with the feet, the jets come out. That's not even in the vintage collection. So that's Power the Force, which I thought, well, I mean, and it's $6, and I don't know, wasn't there like a droid pack of these R2 units that's like $29 or $30, which is kind of ridiculous. These droid um, battle droids, even though they don't have like the articulation of 2018, they're still fully articulated. They have articulation in the shoulder, the elbow, the hips, knees, the ankles. So that's pretty cool. 625. I don't think they've improved those. Um, the Imperial Guards, eventually I'll get the more updated ones, but these will be just fine as background. You know, standing by with the Emperor as he's going down the Imperial shuttle. Um, the Gamoran guard, that looks just fine for me as a stand-up background character. So for $6, I mean, I'm gonna go back to the store. He says that he has more, and I'll probably get. So what I found is I want to get more battle droids, Gamoran guard, Imperial Royal guards. If he has more, maybe some more of the Trade Federation characters. Oh, you guys don't see it. Um, some more Jawas, maybe some more R2 units, which I'll just repaint so it's different R2 units. Same thing with the C3POs. I'll just repaint those so they're different units. Um, Even this one, the Aunt Beru, look, she doesn't have paint application, but she doesn't have her body doesn't look too bad. She looks just a good enough representation for Aunt Beru. So I feel like for $6.25, even though I sacrifice a lot on the articulation and the paint, I just don't know. I feel like for $6, I'll go ahead and use these for background characters. Um, but yeah, the other thing too I wanted to mention was since I spent $300 on this one, it's a good deal. I feel it's a good deal for background characters, but at the same time, it's not like regret in spending $300 so quickly because I've spent a lot of money on this collection in less than a month. Twice as much as I expected to spend. Um, because my initial goal was to concentrate on the original trilogy first, and then expand much later on, much later on, like maybe in a year from now, expand into the prequels and into the sequels. But um, while I was on eBay, it just ended up so much more that a lot of the vehicles that I purchased ended up being from the prequels because the prices were really good in comparison to what I expected them to be, and I found it harder to look for the original trilogy vehicles. I have been able to find some good ones, but some good deals, but they're much more difficult to find. I feel like there's a lot of collectors out there that are trying to go the same route as I am. So, um, what I'm feeling now as I've spent so much money is I've started to begin to close the collection because I feel like I have a lot already, and so much so that I really don't have the space for them. It's amazing how much space it's eating up. Um, so now that the collection frenzy is dying down, I want, if I'm gonna spend money, I definitely want to make sure that what I'm spending it on is something that I wanted. Now, even though this is a good value for what I paid for, um, there's some sort of lingering doubt of spending $300 in just characters of background characters. Like, I'm thinking like, man, maybe I should just spend those on troopers because I could have bought those knockoffs. Um, for $100, it's 30. So for 300, it's almost 100. That's an impressive display. Um, but it's like all troopers. That doesn't make sense to me. But then for $300, I could buy. I found Tie Fighters for $30. So for $300, that's that's like 10 Tie Fighters if I was to stretch it out. But I already have four. Or I found X-wings for like 50 or 60. So that could have been like 5 or 6 X-wings. Um, something like that. Like I feel like I should have spent it more on vehicles because I feel like that's more impressive to look at. But no, I think I think I will spend a little bit more on background characters. I feel like what I'm seeing right here, right now, they're really good. Like, they're really good for what they are. At when I'm adding the extra 300 to the total, it's just really climbing up, and I really wanna cap that total at this point. Um, I know it doesn't make sense what I'm saying because you haven't heard how much I've spent. It'll all make sense once I do my last third part of the getting into the 3.75 collection. It'll make more sense then. So like I said, I've spent twice as much as I expected to, um, and it's staggering how much it is. But anyway, I'm getting off in the line. Anyway, this is the lot that I bought. 49 figures, pretty good haul. $6.25 per figure. Um, I've gotten lots of figures or figure lots where it's actually like $2 per figure. I sometimes I really get lucky. Um, and what I usually do is to really and I've even bought some from Amazon now, of the good ones, the 2018 ones with the full articulation that I wanted for like $12. What I'll usually do to make the pain of spending so much money on figures ease down a little bit is I average out the prices, regardless of whether it's Power to Force or the TVC line. I'll average it out. For example, if I buy $6 for Power to Force and then $12 for a vintage line updated figure, well, that's 12 and 6. That's 18, meaning for two figures I paid 9. So it averages out lower. So in the end, I think it'll come up to that I'll probably have spent $8 or $9 per figure. So the more figures I get for a lower price, the more that average is gonna go down. That's basically what I want. And I definitely do not want to buy any figure over the regular price of $15 or $17. And I have bought those. I've pre-ordered some figures for $17. So anyway, that's it for my new haul of 49 figures. I've gotten so much stuff in the past few weeks that I haven't really shown. I'll show that in part 3, and then I'll do an accounting of what I spent, and then after that, then I'll go more in-depth look at some of the stuff that I've gotten, why I feel like this line of going back into the older collection kind of makes sense for what I wanted, and why I even went there in the first place. But and I hope you guys are still tuning in and finding it fascinating. Um, but yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a good night. Bye.